Hello guys and welcome back to the Motor Recon podcast. I'm your host Adam. I'm joined again today by Rob. What we're going to do today is, because next weekend we are going to Salon Privé at Blenheim Palace, aren't we? Which is a big event. There's quite a few things we'll cover over in this show. So we're going to do like we did for Goodwood, sort of a pre-show thing and what we hope to see there. And maybe talk about some of the stuff that we know is going to be there. And also a few other little bits. So I'll just kick us straight off the bat because we have been to a show at Blenheim Palace before, and it was just that sort of the GT paddock, which is part of this show.
Yeah.
So what they're doing this time is they've got another one, which is Salon Privé. I'm sure many of you have heard of that because it is a world-class concourse show. And then they're also having a few other like manufacturer events there. So we'll go through those again in a second. So first thing we'll look at, which is on the North Lawn. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be sort of where the courtyard is and just over into the back end of where the lake is. The first one is the GT paddock, which I have mentioned. That's just going to be your bog standard sort of supercars and things like that, which random people have brought that they own.
Yeah, exactly.
Not what the manufacturer has done or anything like that.
720S's, 488s,
standard
sort
all your stuff like that. I mean,
we're calling it standard.
Yeah, to be fair, I know in this event they had last time there was like a Koenigsegg and a Pagani and a few things like that.
We did have a couple of good spots the last time we went to a smaller event than this, but this should be a massive.
This should take the mic. I've seen some of the stuff that I know is going on. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
So that'll be there. We're not sure what's going to be in that, but obviously just with it being sort of your normal supercars, we expect just your general things and stuff
some
like
nice
that.
spots, you know.
But the main one of the big events that's going on, which we're going to talk about, is the 1001 Bentleys, which is going to be there.
Yes.
So this is to celebrate a 100-year anniversary. Obviously, it's Bentley's centenary year.
Yeah.
So I'll let you kick off the bat. Out of these 1,000 Bentleys, is there any in particular you really sort of want to see?
Now, brief history lesson on this one, because I'd say that one of my favourite Bentleys of all time, which I've never seen in the flesh.
Okay.
That obviously, I'm hoping that, given that on the official website of Salon Privé, they do have a picture of it.
As the advertisement. So I hope it's
certainly hope it will be there. It's the Bentley 4.5 litre blower.
Okay.
For those sort of listeners who aren't aware of what the Bentley 4.5 litre is, made in 1929, and I think it ran through to 31.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
It raced at Le Mans, and essentially it was 240 horsepower from a 4.4 litre inline four that was supercharged.
Yeah. Now 240 brake horsepower for 1920s to 30s. I don't think that's too bad.
No, it really shifts. And as you say, top speed was in the 120 mile an hour range, which is it's alarmingly fast.
It is, and so you've got no roof or anything.
Yeah.
And I think if it was more aerodynamic, it'd be a lot faster than that.
Yeah.
But it is like a big block, isn't it? But
So it's impressive when you consider as well that comes from an inline four engine as well. So it's not like it's 4.5 litres, but it's not like it's crazy. It's not
like back in the day, like in that kind of area, sometimes they put a lot of people put plane engines in, didn't they? Huge like Spitfire engines or something like that. And
so I love it, and I think obviously another bit of interesting trivia about that car is that it was formerly the first car that James Bond had in the
original Casino Royale.
In the original book series, that was Bond's car of choice, so you can use that in a pub quiz.
I didn't know that, to be fair. So
that is the Bentley I'm really keen to see.
That's the one you want to see.
Yeah.
Now I have been lucky enough to see one in the past. Whether it was real or not is another matter, but looks what I quite enjoy them just because they are stupid in a way.
It's a moment in time, isn't it?
In the nicest way, they're sort of a bit stupid. So the one I'm looking forward to, and I think I've seen somewhere that it said it's going to be there, but given it's their centenary year and they've just announced it, why would it not be?
Yeah.
So this is sort of, the complete opposite end of the spectrum, really. It's the Bentley EXP 100 GT concept. Mm-hmm. Now, this is just a concept at the moment. Obviously, I am assuming they're going to make something. This will be the next Continental, I'm guessing.
Yeah, or potentially it could be the next Flying Spur. Depends on where they go.
They both have the same stuff in them anyway, don't they, really? But this is Bentley sort of showcasing their future. Mm-hmm. And it's an all-electric car from what I can see, or what we've been able to find about it. Obviously, we'll probably get more about it when we're actually there. Mm-hmm. But they're using solid-state batteries, which for me, is actually a good thing because it moves us on from the lithium age.
Well, obviously, it doesn't specifically state what these batteries would be made of, but as you say, given that they're solid state, what Bentley are saying is that they can guarantee a higher charge density.
Yeah, so and lighter weight.
Yeah, as you said, we've got their official page up about the, the EXP 100 GT.
Yeah, concept name, but...
Reducing the load down to 1,900 kilograms. So that's good.
Which for a Bentley... is lightweight. They're usually around 2 tons, 2 and a bit tons, aren't they? Even the Continentals these now.
The bit that really gripped me about this though is some of the estimated charge and range that they have going on.
Yeah, and it's impressive considering that. Well, obviously, I think it's going to be a forefront in solid state batteries. I don't know anyone else who's doing it just yet, is it?
I can't rattle it off the top of my head.
No.
But either way, yeah, what they're saying is that an 80% of the occupant needs, so essentially 15 minutes plugged into a 500 kilowatt charger.
Yeah.
And as you say...
Which is daft.
Like, that's fair going.
It's good, yeah.
Yeah, got to be careful with that, though.
Yeah, and on a full charge as well, they're ranging around 700 kilometres, which, what's that, 400...
Yeah, which in pounds and sterling... No, in pounds and sterling, that's 430-something miles, so that's pretty good going.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it? For a car that's massive like that, really comfortable, no one's really going to do that far in them anyway.
Well, when you consider that an established bit of electric technology, let's use the Jaguar I-Pace as an example, that I think gets you roughly 250, give or take, miles, so you can see a big gain on that. That's literally doubling it, really.
And I think this is coming from as well because VW, I know, along with Ford, have invested heavily in a battery company.
Okay.
And I think they were solid state battery development sort of thing. And Ford and VW are both pumping in, and because Bentley's part of the VW group.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
I suppose other than Bugatti and Lamborghini, whatever, it's probably their flagship sort of.
They will benefit from this investment.
So I think that this is where that's coming from.
Okay.
And so I am actually quite excited to see that. I will put a few of Bentley's pictures on the screen if you are watching this on sort of YouTube, just so you can have a look what it looks like. I think it's very Continental-esque. You can tell it's a Bentley, which is no bad thing.
Design-wise, what are your feelings?
Obviously, concepts are always outlandish and a bit over the top, so I would probably go with at the minute it's not finished. I wouldn't have it in its current form. Is what I'll try and say there. Then.
No, for me, it needs a little bit of toning down.
Well, it will. Look, if you look at any concept cars, pretty much, they're always...
The i8 was relatively true to its concept form, to be fair.
It was.
Give or take, obviously. Yeah.
But certain things like this kind of concept, they don't work in the real world, so they have to change.
Yeah, exactly. Regulations and whatever it might be.
And just on a little side note as well, because I know they probably will have one there. I'm quite interested. I know you don't like them, but I want to see the new Bentayga Speed. Yeah. I haven't seen one yet. I just want to see if it actually has improved it in any way.
I would rather see a flying spur, and I'd rather see...
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from. I'm not massively interested in it. I just want to see if it actually has made a difference on the looks of it.
Yeah.
Without a spoiler and anything, a bit of carbon, but we'll judge when we see it in the flesh. So the next bit of the show, obviously, there is going to be another supercar paddock along with that as well, because I know there's going to be hundreds of cars going, privately owned cars, but they're again just probably going to be more of your generic stuff. The main bit is actually Salon Privé, which is the reason we're going, and they have obviously a lot of manufacturers represented there, like the Bentleys, but a bit on a closed down sort of smaller stands type deal, and they've given us a list of actual proper manufacturers that are going to be there, but we don't know what the sort of concourse cars are going to be.
No.
So off the list of the cars that you would know are going to be there and the manufacturers, is there any you are particularly interested in or want to see?
So it may not be too outlandish what I'm picking here, but I'm quite interested to see the Alpine A110S. So if they bring the new spicier version of the Alpine A110 along,
okay.
I actually genuinely liked the original. I know the looks can be, well, obviously the original one from the 60s I loved, but obviously the one that recently came out as well.
Yeah.
I think the looks are quite divisive. Some people love it, some people hate it.
See, I like the front, but not the back.
I quite like the looks. I don't mind it, and obviously, given the reviews that have come in about it, with it being a fantastic sports car,
gets rave reviews. Doesn't it
gets great reviews. So I could probably live with the looks that aren't 100% to my liking. Not to mention, it's just a bit different to getting a Cayman.
Yeah, but you there will be a few issues, I think, with that,
Yeah.
like reliability-wise and things like that.
But either way, the new S puts out a bit more power, which was the one area of the Alpine A110 which was a little bit lacking to some of its competition. So I'd like to see that in person.
You can get them now tuned by Lichfield as well.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Which is a British company based somewhere down south, well, in Lichfield.
Yeah.
And they've tuned one to not very much power, but because it's so light, it outdragged quite a lot of sort of much more expensive supercars.
I like, as you said, I like the ethos behind the Alpine A110.
Yeah.
I like the focus on lightness. I like the fact that it doesn't need a crazy big engine because it has all that lightweight.
No, I
sort of technology
I like the
involved.
formula. It's very Lotus in a way.
Exactly, yeah, no, I like it. It's quite old school in some respects, where it's a case of where you're not reliant on huge power. You're going for something that's a little bit more delicate, I guess.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah. Just off the list that we have got, obviously there's quite a few just to stand. Obviously we could talk about. I'm just going to pick out one I want to see because I haven't seen one yet. Is the DBS Superleggera? Is it the 59?
Oh, the 59 one will be good.
Yeah. I hope they have one. I hope they will.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one in the flesh yet. So I'm quite interested to actually have a look around it and look at the extra details that they've added on.
I believe that's to celebrate their Le Mans victory in
was,
1959. Yeah. So yeah, it'll be nice. I really like the spec of that actually because it's quite old school.
Yeah.
Is it? I think it's a very tasteful.
It's a very British spec.
Yeah.
Green and
obviously,
gold.
I want to see the Superleggera DBS. Just in, the Volante.
Have you not seen one?
I've not seen the Volante
Okay,
yet, so I'd like to see how it stands.
Yeah. I was looking at it actually to see the very first one in the UK.
Oh,
I'm not
cool.
made in the UK, but the very first sort of either dealer or customer car.
How did it stand? Did you like it?
Gorgeous.
Oh, good.
Yeah, to be fair, whoever spec'd it had done it right.
Oh, well, yeah, I think, and you know what? I'd say that quite often with modern supercars, including the DBS, specking is so critical to how it turns out. Now you can spec them horrifically.
I'll chuck a picture on of it with the one I saw, but the spec is
great.
They've done it properly. I think it was the Aston Martin dealer in Wilmslow that had spec'd it.
Okay.
But yeah, it was very nice. Some other ones we'll just highlight. Won't go into much detail because we have covered them in the past. But the Pininfarina Battista is going to be there, and the Rimac Concept 2. Yeah. So they're the two sort of competing against each other now. Obviously, Lotus has chucked their Ivoire or whatever it's called.
Yeah, we haven't actually found anything that confirms the Hivjar.
We'll
have to learn to pronounce that.
Yeah,
I'm
giving up. But yeah, so them two are going to be there, which are obviously two big rivals, both multi-million-pound sort of hypercar electric cars.
They're occupying the same space.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to have a look at them two to get not together as such, but on the same day and have a direct sort of look round and compare them two.
Yeah.
Also interesting enough as well, Maserati are going to be there with, I'm assuming they're going to have the new V8 Levante.
Okay.
I have zero interest in the car, but I just want to hear how it sounds because the Maserati V8 is usually always...
the sound is usually spot on. I'll give them that.
Yeah. Anything else that's standing out to you that you want to see?
Well, we saw quite a lot from Goodwood.
Yeah, there's a lot of similar stuff going, isn't there?
Yeah, there's quite a bit of similar things going.
There's a few debuts. They've got a weird flying car called the Pal V. Don't really have any interest in seeing it because, as usual with all flying cars, it just...
The practicality of it
isn't
there,
chances are it'll never make it into mass
getting it through the
production.
red tape.
I can't see them ever working myself. There's a few debuts. I can't really pronounce the name, but is it the Pariglia Automobili? I think it's Italian.
You got that, yeah.
I'll put a picture on them.
Yeah, okay.
However that is, but I think that's going to have its debut there. So it'd be nice to see something a bit new that we've never seen before.
A new car company I've never heard of before that are going to be there is W Motors. I had no idea these guys even existed.
It's the car out of Fast and Furious. You know the one who jumps through the towers?
Oh, cool. Okay.
They're not... Well, they are called W Motors, but it's... you'll probably have heard of it called the Lycan Hypersport. Because that's essentially what that is. That looks like the Lycan Hypersport, but it's sort of the newer version of it. Very expensive, built in Dubai by some rich Middle Eastern company.
Sure.
Called W Motors.
I'm just curious to see what they've got,
They are extremely striking in the flesh. I think they're great looking cars. So another thing, that's obviously just a couple of the manufacturers that are going to be there. But we know there's going to be a concourse.
Mm-hmm.
And I quite like some of the concourse ones because the cars generally are better than as they came out of the factory.
Okay.
They are absolutely pristine. Now, there's two... We've picked a car each that we'd quite like to hope that we're going to see there.
Yeah, I'd say that these are the cars which... If you were to mention concourse to us, for me, this is one of the cars I desperately want to see in concourse condition. And this seems like a good opportunity for someone to bring one out. So hopefully there might be one floating around.
Well, now I know what R2 cars are, but what most people do think of when they think of concourse, like if you ever watch it from like Carmel in Car Week or any of the others, they're very old cars, sort of your 1915s, 20s, even up to like 1940s and things like that, and sometimes up to the 60s, but in absolutely pristine condition. We've gone for two slightly more modern cars, but I have seen that they have been entered in concourses before.
Okay.
So the chances are we could see one. There is a possibility.
Frankly, if I can see one anywhere at all in the show of what I've shown, of the entire event, I'll be happy.
Well, there was actually one for sale, a right-hand drive one for sale in Preston, believe it or not.
Crikey.
I'm not going to name the dealership, but
yep,
I know where it was. So I'll let you kick off with yours.
Right.
If you would like.
Yeah, the Aston Martin 177. I've never seen one in sort of the real world.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to. Fascinated with it the moment it rolled out of the factory. So essentially what you're looking at is a 7.3 litre V12, which sounds absolutely mad.
They do.
They sound incredible. A bit like, it's like the Vulcan, which obviously had over 7 litres of displacement as well. Yeah. Sounds great. It produces 760 horsepower, which obviously by today's standards is still a lot. It's still a lot, but at the same token, I'm sure there are hypercars with a lot more now.
Well, there is. We're way past thousands now, aren't we? Chiron has 1,500.
553 pound-feet of torque, so that's pretty good. 6-speed automatic.
Yeah, and rear-wheel drive.
Yeah, rear-wheel drive.
But built in England. Now, the good story about the sort of the 176 actually is in my top 5 favourite cars.
Yeah.
Interestingly, just purely on the way that it looks. Now, I've been fortunate enough, I've seen a few. I've even seen one on the road, luckily enough, like one of the right-hand drive ones in the UK. I saw it in London. I'll put a picture up for you. Hearing it drive past you was just something else.
Yeah.
But it's the looks that take everything for me. And because within typical Aston Martin style, they've gone for pure, like, sort of elegant looks.
Yeah.
And most people don't know as well, that because it is a 4-exhaust car, but you can't see them all. You can see sort of 2, but if you get down underneath, they've got 2 hidden under the Venturis in the back splitter, just so you can see it coming out, and that just adds to the elegance of it because there's no mess. There's just pure beauty.
No, and that sort of folds into my preference of car design again. Yeah. No stupid rear wings, nothing outlandish.
It pops up, but it's hidden, isn't it?
It's. I don't think any of it. Obviously, it won't be discreet because you can't have a 177 that's discreet. But I think it's tasteful.
Yeah, and the best thing of it, obviously, they are extremely rare. They've only made 77 of them.
Yeah.
So compared to your LaFerraris, your 918s, P1s, everything, this is a unicorn car.
Yeah.
There's not many of them about. Obviously, I've been going to car shows for obviously years and years now, so I've seen it since it was a clay model, right up until,
it came out.
Yeah. I fell in love with it immediately. I would genuinely, if I had the money and one came up for, well, I know there is one for sale, I'd just go and buy it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, you'll need deep pockets. Though.
Yeah, they're well over $1 million. I'm surprised they haven't gone up even more, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But they made them in 2008 as well, just as the financial crisis hit when they launched the car.
Of course they did.
They sold them all, but it's typical. Everyone says that every time Aston Martin launches a special car, prepare for a recession, because it normally always follows. So yeah, I'll just move quickly on to the one I want to see. Now, we've seen numbers of these in the past, and probably a lot of you guys listening have seen them somewhere. But the McLaren F1.
Yeah, love it.
It's my all-time favourite car. It is the top of my list of everything, and the cars they are stupid money now. They sell 15, 16 million.
Doesn't at all surprise me though.
Genuinely, I don't think I would say. I can only see them going one way, which is even more up. But built between 1992 and 1998, they only made 106 of them. So again, compared to your modern hypercars, these are non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
A B&W engine, 6.1 litre V12 from B&W, with 618 horsepower, which by today's standards,
it's fairly modest.
Fairly modest, but it's extremely lightweight, 1.1 tons.
Yeah, and it could, as you say,
nothing. But you don't. Back then, they didn't have to have the same safety features and everything they do now. But the looks wise of it is just a classy, sleek design, the standard one. Mm-hmm. My favourite is the LM, personally, but the standard car is such a sleek design.
Well, for me, I would go for the standard one any day of the week.
Your preference.
That would be my preference, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I love the LM one just because it's that slightly bit more aggressive, which I do personally prefer, and it just got the bit more of the heritage of sort of the Le Mans victories and things like that.
That's true.
And I love that. I dread to think what they sell for. I've not seen one come. I think one actually recently did just sell actually at Carmel in the auction, but I don't know the number off the top of my head. But yeah, that's my choice. Again, I've seen quite a few of these over the years from various different places, and I can't get enough of them.
Now, what is interesting though is if you've been following sort of like the hypercar news or whatever, one of the designers, I believe it's Gordon Murray, is designing a new sort of hypercar.
He is actually, isn't he?
Yeah. And it shares a relative resemblance to the McLaren F1 in some respects.
It's central seater, isn't it?
I think he's gone for a similar sort of design profile. So I'd like to see what that modern take on that car will actually turn out.
Yeah, I think it's a couple of years off. Yeah, it's going for electric, I'm sure. I could be.
Yeah, I think it will be interesting.
I think
it'll be interesting.
But yeah, it is my all-time favourite car. I really, really hope there is one there. I'm not even bothered what form it's in.
No.
I just hope there is one there, to be honest.
Okay.
So that rounds off sort of my concourse, sort of what I want to see. Now, obviously, once we come back after the show, we'll do a full rundown of what we did see, and obviously we'll have a bit more pictures and things to talk about with you there. So just a nice little just end topic, which I have been asked, to be fair, by a listener to actually do this, which is why I'm bringing it up. Was the best car spot you've ever had? Sort of has to be on the road.
Yeah.
Whether it's parked or moving, it doesn't matter. As long as it's on the road, not part of a show or anything like that. The best car you've ever seen. To you personally, obviously.
Yeah. For me, the best car I've ever seen on the road and moving was a fantastic spec of obviously an original DB5.
Okay.
It was, as you said, the most famous car in the world, as people say.
Well, it is probably.
And I genuinely, I was amazed the guy was taking it out on the road, because obviously, given how much they're worth, I had to give him full credit for actually just being out and about in it and sharing it with the world. So yeah, that is easily my favourite car spot. I'm sure, as you say, we've seen Veyrons and we've seen potentially things that are more valuable than that on the road.
Oh, comfortably. Well, I have seen a McLaren F1 on the road.
But he was the person where, out of everybody, I was like, God, I wish I was you.
Yeah.
That was the one where I was like, I wish that was me. So yeah, my favourite pick.
That's your favourite. Yeah. Okay, interesting, good choice there. I do love a DB5, obviously.
Yeah.
For me, it is a tough one because, as you know, I do a lot of car spotting. So I have seen a lot of cars knocking around on the road. Like I say, I have seen an F1, but unfortunately I didn't get a picture of it. So to me, I don't count that. The favourite one I've actually had a picture of and seen was a Pagani Zonda Cinque.
Yeah.
Saw it in London. The guy also had, because he's an absolute boss, he had his Huayra there, he had his Enzo there, he had everything. They were all parked together, but the Zonda Cinque, for me, one of 5 in the world ever made.
Pagani is one of those manufacturers that has always interested me, because obviously there's only ever been 2 cars, hasn't there, really? There's been the Zondas
and the Huayras.
And just, I can't actually keep up with all the different types of Zondas there are out there.
No, it's because a lot of people pay good money to have the unique ones for them. Like there's I think actually it is coming to the show, the Zonda Oliver.
Right.
A guy bought it and he had it named after his son, who was like just born. So like, can I have it on your 18th birthday? I'm like, all right. But yeah, stuff like that. So for me, that was my best spot I've ever seen on the road, just purely on the rarity of it.
Yeah.
I have actually seen rarer cars on the road, but just for looks, they're so striking. And in a bowl cut, it's white, the white, like the standard white spec with the red stripe and the black carbon. Mm-hmm. There's a few different colours knocking around, but out of the 5. But that for me did it.
Considering how old the car is, I'm surprised at how well the design has really held up of the Zonda. I mean, I like the looks of the Huayra and I like the Active Aero on the front as well. I've always found that really cool and unique.
It's a good way of doing it, because when you're parked, it does make it a bit more of a clean, like you say, you like your clean design.
I thought that was a very clean and effective way of Active Aero, so I really like that. But I think the Zonda still quite holds up.
It does. Well, to me, it's my favourite. Not necessarily the Cinque is my favourite Zonda, but it's my favourite Pagani out of the 2 models. I like the Huayra, like you say, but I'm not a massive fan of it. I think it looks a bit too bulbous and a bit funny.
Yeah, that's the thing. Don't get me wrong, I do like the Huayra, but I think as far as a classic design has gone down, I think the Zonda will forever be seen as a cool.
Yeah, because it was the first one.
It will age well, I feel.
It was the first supercar they tested on the new Top Gear when they brought it back in 2002.
That's a little bit of precedence to have as well, isn't it? Yeah.
That alongside with the Murcielago at the time, with that just come out, and they did a side-by-side test. But that's it for me. And if you do, obviously, if you want to tell us your best spots or anything, just in the comments below. Or if you are coming to Blenheim, let us know, and obviously what you want to see. All the sort of social media links and everything will be down below. I would do see the comments, so by all means go for it. And like I say, we'll tune in next week for a roundup of the show.
Yeah, we'll have a
That'll be quite interesting. All right then, guys, and we'll see you later.
Bye now.
Bye.